Selling for Dummies by Tom Hopkins. This book essentially revolves around the 7-step selling cycle in Chapter 2. I'll go through each of them now. Step 1, prospecting. Prospecting means finding the right potential buyer for what you're selling. Ask yourself this: who would most benefit from this product? On page 107, the author suggests making a list of all the people you know and start there. For instance, your parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, cousins, your co-workers, your friends, members of your sports team, church members, your neighbors, your hairstylist, your mechanic, grocery store cashiers, your doctor, dentist, your lawyer. Do your research and start reaching out to the people on your list. Visit their website, if it's a company. Get copies of the company's product brochures and catalogs. Even check out the business's financial report. Step 2, making initial contact. Keep this saying in mind: you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Dress like someone your potential client would turn to for advice. If you're selling farm equipment, wear jeans or khaki slacks and boots. If you're selling to a corporation, wear a formal suit. Be prepared to shake hands, make eye contact, and build rapport. Also, be aware of unique cultural needs. Be patient with people from other countries. Speak slower if you are asked to. Don't use slang or buzzwords. Pay attention to nonverbal cues. Step 3, qualifying. Qualifying your prospects means finding out not just who they are, but what they do, what they have, and what they need. The goal of your qualification discussion is to determine how well suited your product or service is to their situation. Also, know your product. What's it called? And how is it perceived? Whether the product is the latest model or release, how the product improves on a previous model or version, how fast, powerful, or accurate the product is. Just know your product. Step 4, winning over prospects with your presentation. Your presentation of your product, service, or idea requires the most preparation. Compress the heart of your presentation down to only a few minutes. After those few minutes, spend the rest of your time involving your prospects directly in the presentation through questions, visual aids, or a hands-on demonstration. Selling is not a spectator sport. It's an involvement sport. Keep in mind that in some countries, you need to spend time telling your clients about the history of your company and helping them feel comfortable with you and your product before starting your presentation. Step 5, addressing concerns. Handling negative comments or concerns your prospect may raise during your presentation. Most people won't say yes until they give you some type of no. The most common concern you'll encounter is the old standby: I want to think it over. In the section responding to your client's fear, the author lists 8 fears you'll need to help your prospects overcome, like fear of salespeople, fear of failure, fear of owing money, fear of being lied to, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown, fear of repeating past mistakes, fear generated by others. The best ways to handle concerns is to hear the customer out, rephrase what the client's concerns are, ask the customer if he or she would be more comfortable with a different model, and so forth. Step 6, closing the sale. Closing should follow naturally and smoothly after you address your prospect's concerns. It is the most important of all the steps. Some advice on knowing when to close. Ask basic questions like, John, do you see why we're so excited about what this new model is doing for our clients? Or, Jenny, tell me, how are you feeling about all this so far? Ask assumptive questions. Don't wait until the right time to ask passes you by. Ask a question like this: If everything we've discussed here makes sense, how soon would you want to begin benefiting from your new computer system? Give your prospect two choices. Either one advances the sale. This way, no matter which option your prospect chooses, the sale moves forward because the prospect isn't given the option of saying no. Using closing questions and statements, the basic oral close goes like this. John, I'm excited for you to have all new kitchen appliances at one time. Would you prefer to finance the purchase or use a credit card? The basic written close. If you use order forms in your selling, this method works well. Gradually fill out the form during the conversation. When the paperwork is ready, scan it for accuracy and hand it to the client with pen in hand. After you close, you'll want to keep track of your client's contact information. For instance, their name. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Company names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, and so forth. Step 7, getting referrals. You can get referrals from family and friends, networking, happy customers, or even other salespeople in your field. In Chapter 21, from the Part of 10 section, this section lists 10 strategies for improving your selling. 1, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself both mentally and physically for the challenge of persuading others. 2, make a good first impression. Dress conservatively. Don't overdo the perfume or cologne. 3, determine whether you can help your client. Is the product or service right for the customer? 4, give every presentation 110%. Make every presentation as though it's the most important thing in your life at that very moment. 5, address concerns completely. If your customer voices a concern, don't glide over it or minimize it. 6, confirm everything. Miscommunication costs people lots of money, time, and effort every year. Restate the details with your client. 7, ask for the decision. Hesitation is an indication of doubt. Never be the one having doubts when you're in the persuader's seat. 8, tell your clients about others. Share experiences you've had with other customers who bought your product. This way the customer doesn't feel alone. 9, constantly work at selling. Don't take time off. Keep learning. Think about new strategies. 10, be a product of the product. If you're selling Fords, don't be seen driving a Chevy. If you sell home security systems, you'd better have one in your home. In conclusion, I just gave you the highlights of the book. If you want more details, you'll have to read the book yourself. Thank you.